morning, everybody. So happy to see you. Welcome to Conversations with Annassa. So let's start with meditation. Take your attention inside. And feel yourself surrounded by pranic plasma. Surrounded by golden white light. All your guardians, angels, protectors, everyone with your highest best as the goal is surrounding you. And we all have had many lifetimes or we wouldn't be here. We all have enormous availability of positive energy for our spiritual growth. So we're now surrounded by that golden white light. Inhale that golden white light and exhale everything that might be a limitation to your spiritual growth. So you inhale love and you exhale everything in you that is not love. Because anything that's not love is not needed. And it's also not real. Inhale golden white light. Exhale any restriction. Allow that golden white light to expand, to encompass every cell of your body. And understand that any negativity that comes off you is recycled into the energetic void. No harm is done. Use your breath to clear away any darkness inside you. And allow the golden light. Now take your attention to your heart center. And visualize a tiny being on a lotus flower. This being is the size of your thumb. And as you look closely, it's the completely realized version of yourself. Breathe into this tiny being and allow it to expand inside you. When you expand with this being to the same size as your body, then you can begin expanding it to fill the room where you're sitting. So everything inside the room where you are is inside you. And now you expand to take in your entire neighborhood. It's all inside you. And now you take in your entire city or county if you're in the woods. Allow yourself to experience what some of the people are doing inside you. And now expand to allow the entire earth to be inside you. And now the solar system. And now expand to include the entire multiverse. Now, as you're ready, gently bring yourself back to the room through the layers and the layers and the layers till you are fully encompassing the room you're in and looking down at yourself in meditation. And you reach your hand down from all this vastness and you pour blessings of love into the person you are in meditation. Embrace the experience of love, loving itself. Allow yourself to come into your body. This life, this time, this place. Be here now. We're so happy to be with you. How may we serve this morning? That was so beautiful. We welcome your questions. How's everybody doing out there? So for sure, it's a time of transformation. I'm sure you've all noticed that things are changing fairly rapidly in our world. They seem to be changing all around us. And it's interesting because is it really different? Or do we just have much more access to information? You know, this certainly isn't the first plague that's ever hit the earth. And it's not the first extinction event that's hit the earth. And every time has its challenges that are life-threatening, no matter how big or small our perception of our life is. No matter what time we're alive, there are things around us that are changing, that are threatening. So let's talk about it in terms of reincarnation. You know, we think of reincarnation as a linear event, that we have one life in one time, ancient time, and then we have another life in a less ancient time, and then we have another life in a more closer to present time. And then it just goes like that in a linear way. And that's because we have linear minds. But reincarnation is not linear. It's all happening at once because time doesn't really exist. Time is a function of our linear imagination. We don't have in our linear mind the conceptual capacity to expand, to encompass the reality of the multiplicity of dimensional life, because we live in the third dimension. And we can only see the dimensions that precede our existence. So in Indian philosophy, there are either 31 or 36 tattvas, I can't remember. But you could think of each tattva as a dimension. And so third dimension is pretty elementary in a certain way, although elementary, it supposes a hierarchy of value that's not really true. Every dimension is wonderful. Every dimension has value. And so it's not exactly like climbing a ladder, because there we are in linear reality again. The only way we can speak to you is through linear reality because your language is linear. So in trying to bring our message, we are broadcasting the energetic frequency that will allow you to transcend your current perceptual experience. So this is part of our gift to you, is to bring you expanded awareness so that you yourself can transcend this linear perception, which is third dimensional reality. Because humanity, as it makes the leap into greater perceptual awareness, will also make the leap from third dimensional reality into love, because love, as a foundational concept, as a foundational experience that everyone knows to value completely in their judgment system. In fifth dimension, that's the reality. So we are cultivating ourselves as pure love, because that is the doorway to the fifth dimension, to an expanded perceptual reality that humanity must come to for salvation. And it's not like something outside us is going to come and save us. We must save ourselves by expanding our perception and our awareness to become the very love that we are seeking. If you ask any person in the world what it is they want, and you follow it down far enough, they will get to happiness, because they don't believe that love is possible, or they don't know what it is. But love, peace, joy, and gratitude are the states that we have access to that point to the direction of that which is beyond, which is fifth dimensional reality from where we are. And as we live these multiple lives, at the same time, we have the opportunity at various points when these multiple lives, they're like ribbons of experience that go through the dimensional reality. And as these lives occasionally get close to each other, we get the opportunity to jump streams. And we come into union with everything that was accomplished and realized in that life. And so it's as though we're surfing through the waves of experience and allowing them to penetrate our awareness so that we can become more. And there is no limit to this more that we can become. No limit, none. The only limitation is usually our fear as we expand our perception of reality. It's very easy to feel like you're going crazy. And yet, when you feel, you look around yourself and you feel, you understand that you're going sane. You're not going crazy. You are expanding your perception so that you have even more to offer those that we say we love in this life. We welcome your questions. Yes.
You say more about nonlinear lifetimes.
No, it's not. Well, let's feel into that a bit. For now, let's keep it like this. There are multiple linear lifetimes happening at the same time. It is the perception of humanity that these lifetimes are happening in a linear order. They are not. So we are living multiple experiences at the same time. And the only reason it's relevant is because it's possible to cultivate the experience gathered from multiple lifetimes and merge with those lifetimes and encompass that experience to become more aware of the possibility of what a realized human being is, which is a nonlinear event. And the expansion of the allowing of the merging of multiple successful internally lives enriches us in such a way that our awareness can expand to begin to make the leap from linear to nonlinear experience. And it is the nonlinear experience that is foundationally based in love. And that love is not a concept, but a state of being. And in that state of love, there is a certain logic for how that love can be served from moment to moment. And that is what it is to be a realized human being, to be serving love in every moment as it appears. Now, what is love? And there's a reason we use love, peace, joy, and gratitude, and then say that it's just beyond, because linear language, linear concept cannot encompass that which is beyond, because it's beyond our imagination. Our imagination is limited by our linear perception. And we are taught, when we are taught language, our nonlinear perception is literally corralled and put into words, and each word creates its limitation. It's like it captures the energy of that particular concept and grounds it in third dimensional reality. We have the option at certain moments in our life to expand into fifth dimensional reality. And it would seem that often tiny babies are born into this state of that which is beyond. You know, before their eyes really open and they come present, if their experience in the womb has been non-threatening, they may come in fully in that which is beyond. We hope that answers your question. And we're happy to continue if it engenders more. And we're here because we're here through Rebecca so that you can know that it doesn't make you insane. You can be assured. Now, maybe by some measurement, it's insanity, but not one that anybody on this call cares about. Because to allow yourself to love more, that's the sanest choice anyone in this multiverse could make from this position. What could be more sane? What could benefit ourselves and everybody else more than us trying to become love? And we say trying to become because we can't imagine what it is to really be that. But it's always a choice. Just like we can choose whether or not we come on Sunday morning, we can choose whether or not we embody love. It's a choice. And it's a choice we make every time we sit down and get quiet and allow ourselves to expand into pure golden light. We cultivate the field of love as the garden of our humanity, the garden of our becoming. And we practice with the people around us. And we can tell how successful we are by how happy the people around us are. That's the yardstick. Doesn't matter if we send money to China or Africa. That's not the measure of our love. The measure of our love is our own happiness and how well we share that. Which doesn't mean that we're responsible for anybody else's happiness. That's one of the first mistakes we make. Okay, it's our job to make everybody happy. Then we just become fodder. That's not it either. We can't do anybody else's work, but we can do our own. And by the quality of our own lives and our own efforts, we become a demonstration of the process of human evolution. And that is inspirational to others. And that is how we change the world. We become that which we desire. That which we desire for ourselves and for everybody else. Our work starts inside our own hearts. And we're here to help. And what do we want from you? To save your own world. Because when you become love, nothing else matters. Nothing. You just share it. But for all of us, there's a bit of baggage to unload. Some people can do it really fast. Most people know. Rebecca's a no. It takes a long time. Not so fast. But in the meantime, we can enjoy the process. Because the process itself, no matter how much it hurts or how hard it is, becomes joyful in its own way. because the rewards are so much bigger than the effort required to reap them. And so the cycle becomes inspiring within you as you evolve. And every person's evolution is different. Every person comes here with different pressures and different matrix of belief and different blueprint. A lot of the matrix of belief is shared. This shared delusion that we put on each other, that we spend our lives unraveling as we evolve. But the key is to always go to love and to discover more and more what that is. Love, peace, joy, gratitude, and that which is beyond. All those 4 states are very important to cultivate. Peace in the face of all this chaos and uncertainty. To feel a place of stillness within inside yourself. Gratitude. Gratitude for the gift. First, the gift of a first world life, that we have the choice to sit down and be quiet. What a gift that is. Gratitude. We have the possibility of clean air, clean water, safe food. We are gifted. It hurts us to forget to be grateful. And when we understand that everything is inside of us, what we're really cultivating is already there inside us. There is nothing outside of us. And we see the world the way we are. We see the world from our matrix of belief. So we're here to challenge that matrix of belief and make it bigger. Put you in touch with that which is beyond. How may we serve further? Yes.
Can you talk about expanding or surrendering to the all that is, and at the same time, being grounded in 3-dimensional reality, connected to divine? Is this a question of timing, or is it something that should be happening simultaneously all the time?
So the question is how is it possible, I'll rephrase it a bit, how is it possible to be expanded into the all that is and grounded in this reality at the same time? Well, our bodies are the anchor. Our body is in three-dimensional reality. So it's not exactly that we leave our body. So this expansion, you never leave the room. You just expand to encompass everything. So this is not that you go somewhere. Everything is here. Everything is here, waiting for our discovery. And so we use gratitude, we use love, we use peace, we use joy to open this expansion so that we can experience from our feeling being that which is beyond and evolve to truly encompass participation in all of it without judgment. It's the judgment, that we usually use against ourselves that reduces us, reduces our capacity to expand. So let's go back to the question. It's really about being present when one is expanded to encompass the entirety. This reality doesn't disappear. It's still right here. It's our awareness that has expanded. It has gone nowhere, but just bigger. And really, it's not even bigger in terms of volume. Exactly. Because even though we're expanded, the expansion and contraction that is the nature of our physiology always continues. And so the connection throughout the dimensions that keeps us grounded is our breath. Whenever we feel a little bit lost, just come back to the breath. The breath inside us is actually an infinity loop. And the center is the solar plexus, right below the rib cage. And the way we're experiencing it in this moment is it comes in through the top of our head and kind of goes through the third eye, comes down and crosses to the back at the diaphragm, goes down and around, comes up and crosses at the diaphragm and up the back. So this is another energetic loop that we could practice with some But it is the breath that grounds us always as we expand. The breath never leaves us for long. It might stop for a while. That happens as our body comes into stillness. The breath can stop for a little bit. And we can depend on our bodies. There is a physiologic mechanism that makes us breathe if we run out of enough air. Feel into that cycle of the breath. And the stillness. How beautiful. Now may we serve further. Did that answer your question?
Just think of the pettiness of one's tensions in this context of what you're saying.
Well,
Not to exclude them, it's just that somehow
right.
it's hard to be expanded.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, our problems are all first world, which doesn't, that's not to diminish them. We all have difficult things that we go through. We're all human. We're all going to die. There's no denying any of that. And the people around us, same. So it's not that our life doesn't have difficulty in it, but we are so gifted to have time and energy to spend cultivating our evolution. What a gift. Oh my God, we are so lucky. It's not just about survival for us. This is our greatest gift. We have the opportunity to evolve. What great luck. And it is luck. Nobody deserves it. It's just pure luck. Here we are. And there's nobody who doesn't deserve it. That's true too. Both sides of the corollary.
What's a good prayer for the people that aren't as lucky as we are?
May all beings be free. What's a good prayer for the beings who are not so lucky? And we said, may all beings be free from suffering. May all beings have love. May all beings be enlightened. What greater prayer can we make for ourselves and everyone else? We see you receiving the message and we love this. So beautiful. Hmm.
You speak about the unpacking the baggage of matrix of belief as part of evolving. Sometimes I find myself unpacking the same baggage or similar baggage and wondering whether I've repacked those bags and trying to maybe be present enough to be aware that maybe I'm repacking bags, and sometimes I just don't know. Maybe it's just some baggage.
What it is we unpack our experience well, we'll give you a linear image, but understand it's a nonlinear process. So the question is, how do I know if I'm just unpacking the same bag over and over and I just keep repacking it and then unpacking it, repacking it and unpacking it? That's really the question, right? It's always a layer deeper. It's like a spiral, and you're either cleaning from the bottom or cleaning from the top. It doesn't matter. Ram Dass wrote a book called Polishing the Mirror. That's another image for what's happening. You're just, removing the dirt from the surface that's covering the true. I don't want to use the word purity because that's not really the right word. What do we call it? Because it's alive. It's got so much life. We're uncovering the Well, spark is too small an image. We're uncovering the life that is the source of our own vitality. We're uncovering our access to that. And if you imagine that that vitality is a light that's filtering through a lot of dimming and sort of perverse things that it runs into and the light refracts. And so the way it does that at a given time may look very similar to the way it did it a week ago, but it's not exactly the same. And it doesn't matter. We just get tangled up in judgment if we look at it that way. Understand that it's always, always, always the nature of evolution that it is uncovering more as we are becoming more. Now, there are periods where we appear to be stuck in repetitive loops. And that is our being generating the energy to break through to the next layer. And so that's one of the most difficult stages of evolution to encounter in yourself, because it always feels like you've been there forever and you're going to be there forever and there's nothing you can do. There's an element of hopelessness that comes over oneself as we discover that happening. Feels like we're caught in an endless repetitive loop. That is our body. This is a physiologic process. It's not exactly physiologic. We don't have the language. It's where the physiology and the energetic meet. And there's a gathering of energy that must occur to propel us through the density, to allow our creative energy to infiltrate through the density like a mushroom coming through concrete, lifting up that density and allowing that which is less dense to permeate the entire field as the evolution progresses. And so there are occasionally periods we'll work and work and work and we'll go like this. Then we get here and it just seems like it's doing this forever. And that's when it is building and generating vitality to break through to yet another place. And then this happens again, and then it breaks through, and then this happens again. So that is part of the process. Now we can only demonstrate it to you as a linear process, but it is a non-linear event that is constantly in process. And the way we'll kind of show that to you is that that thing that we just described can be happening here, like in your left hip, can be happening in your heart, can be happening in your left ear, can be happening in your knee, all at the same time, out of your perceptive awareness. And in a human being, there are layers that we artificially divide to create language, like the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So you can imagine these processes, or this process that we described, happening at different rhythms in different locations in all parts of these systems as they evolve. And so it may be that our perception gets stuck in one part of that arena, and the other parts we can't exactly see. But as we are participating in our own deepening and expanding awareness, it's happening. And there are moments where the only response we can have to what's going on inside ourselves is faith. faith that the process is continuing to reveal itself, even though it's not exactly in our perceptual range at the moment. And this happens throughout our evolution, that there are times when we embrace faith because we're truly in uncertainty. And uncertainty is the most uncomfortable position for a human being. And every part of our evolution has within it a stage of uncertainty. Because when the old is no longer felt to be appropriate and the new is not yet in place, there is this moment of pure uncertainty. And this is the moment where we completely allow. The other word for that allowing is surrender. We prefer allowing because that is the action. You just allow yourself to expand. You take a breath and you open deeper. That's allowing. And then you say yes. You have no idea what you're saying yes to. None. But this is where faith comes in. You understand that it is the nature of health itself to evolve upward. It is the nature of health to become more. And when we're talking about health, we're talking about range of motion. We're not talking about exactly physical health. Although the same principles exist in physical health, they do. As we evolve, our physical health improves. But we're also in a system that's dying. But we don't have to decay necessarily as we walk up to that point of, going from being in this body and limited by it to expanding into the all that is. We don't have to decay. That has everything to do with our matrix of belief, which is in some ways related to our karma. And so there is such a thing as karma, which is part of our blueprint, which means that some of us do decay and some of us don't, or some of us decay faster than others. And so that brings up the whole conversation of, is karma mutable? And the answer is yes, we can work with it, but we have to know it to be able to work with it. And so there's inner work to be done to know this. Did we answer your question? Good.
Just sometimes it feels like I got a funny image as you were talking. Frantically, where's the kid?
Yeah.
And that, and then, I had the whole feeling petty when there's people out there that they can't find the next meal. you're frantically unpacking these bags and you go, why the fuck am I being so frantic about this? Everything's good, really. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But understand you've been given the gift of growth, and just be grateful and keep doing it. So the conversation is this, in the face of feeling petty, because, here I am with this, we've heard it described as rabbit pellets, these things that we're trying to like get out of our lives so that we can be higher. We're dealing with this, and somebody out there is hungry. They're in the survival level. Shouldn't we be helping them in this moment? And the answer is, you say your prayer for them. You include them in your good wishes for the whole. And if the opportunity arises and you have the abundance to share in a given moment, you share. Always you put on your own oxygen mask first. Sacrifice is not, sacrifice is, the language is so tricky here. Because there are times, like in those moments of faith, where you're sacrificing your matrix of belief and allowing the uncertainty to permeate you as you come into new awareness. That actually feels like a sacrifice in the moment, because you allow your fear, you allow all the negativity to just dissipate as something new comes in. That's truly what allowing or surrendering is. It's just letting the new come in. Saying yes to what's trying to change. The truth about everyone out there is each person has to do this process. Each person has to change and evolve. We can't do it for other people. We can only inspire other people by our own example. And we can inspire by sharing, but nobody wants to hear what we have to say, for the most part. They have to come ask. When they ask, we're available. No amount of shouting when they're not ready to hear it is going to deliver the message. No amount of hammering, no amount of nagging, no amount of anything that we can do can make another person change. It has to be their inspiration that, oh, something different might be available to me. Then it can happen just like that. They're on the path. But we can't do anything to make that happen. And largely when we do try to make it happen for other people, they are completely pushed away. Because it's not them making the choice and coming to receive, coming to participate, but it's us trying to force our matrix of belief on them. That's generally what's happening. How did we get there? We assume that applies to someone. How may we serve further? Okay, I guess it's time for meditation. Lucky us. We have time for one more if anybody has a burning question. Okay, let's meditate. So this one, we're just going to do open eye. We'll let you go into meditation whatever way you want. And we'll just be here broadcasting. And you can be however you wish. You can look back at us or not. It's your choice. Whatever serves you the most in this moment, please feel welcome. you so much. We're so grateful to be with you today. Till next time, so much love.